Robert. I take it that's a reflection on the gospel and not on the sermon. Thank you. Please be seated. Almost Halloween music, actually. And it's an awesome story. And that story in Jerusalem itself, that's the beginning of their Easter celebrations when they, a week before Palm Sunday, they go out to the tomb of Lazarus. It's because of those who came before us that we are who we are. That's true on all kinds of levels, from our genetic makeup to our culture, and as we remember, especially today, to our faith. And so today we pause to acknowledge all those who have gone before us in the faith. In the Northern Hemisphere, this is the end of the harvest season before winter sets in. And so naturally they use this agricultural festival to, and of course the eve of All Hallows has become Halloween, but they use this festival to reflect on the harvest of souls as God, the cosmic farmer, continues his work. Some of those we remember are people from long ago. Many of them, most of them, are people from far away. Others are people we have known, who we remember with love and appreciation. It is because of them that we are who we are. It's because of them that the faith has been passed across 2,000 years. It's because of them that the faith is expressed in every human language, within every culture, and across all parts of this world. Had they been unfaithful, the faith would not have survived. There is no Christianity without Christians. Had they forgotten the story of Jesus, it would no longer be told among us. Had they not travelled far and wide, the faith would not be found in every part of the world. Had they not been people of courage, the flame of faith may well have been extinguished. And had they lost hope, how would we ever have heard the good news? We walk in their footsteps, but of course we also need to find our own path. And that's an interesting double movement, walking in their footsteps, finding our own path. Because we carry the candle of faith in a very different world. And our challenge is not so much to imitate them as to replicate them. It's not that we do exactly what they did, but that we seek to achieve the same goal. The mission remains the same, but the operation may be rather different. And in our own time and in our own way, we are also creating a legacy for those who will come after us. In time, they will look back at these times in the life of the church, and they will wonder why we were so concerned about this issue or that, and yet at the same time remained oblivious to something else which for them is central to their concerns as disciples of Jesus. So just as we do not need to imitate those who went before us, so we do not presume to imagine how those who will come after us will keep doing things. For sure, they will not keep doing things the way we do them now, and that's okay. Our task is to be faithful here and now, encouraged by the past, and open to the future. Anglicans have been present here in Grafton since 1842, seeking to serve God and the local community. At first, our faith community gathered in a simple timber chapel just across the street on the other side of the corner. beside the deanery. In fact, the deanery wasn't even built when the little timber church was built. Just 40 years later, work was underway to build this cathedral, which was a remarkable project in a town of just 1,500 people. And they started building this place. We would never attempt a project like that. We'd find it impossible to imagine. We'd say there's no way we could achieve it. They were people of vision. And even if their vision turned out to be different from reality, they still acted on their vision, and this place stands as a testament to their vision. Once upon a time in Grafton, it sounds like a fairy tale, doesn't it? Once upon a time in Grafton, this cathedral was packed most Sundays, and we had several services a day. Those days have long passed, and here we are still trying to work out the best way to be Jesus people in this community in our time. A time when being at church on Sunday just doesn't matter to most of our families and friends. And in a way, the cathedral is a kind of parable hinting at the challenge before us. We have so much from the past for which to be grateful, of which this building is a remarkable reminder. But the way forward is going to look very different and is not easily discerned. We cannot imagine what the church will be like in the years to come, but the heart of our faith and the core of our mission remains the same, even when experienced and expressed in different ways at different times. We are intentional. We're not just drifting through life. We are people who are choosing to follow Jesus with our eyes wide open. We're not just drifting along, getting involved in the church because it's the accepted thing that everyone around here does. We've made a conscious decision to pay attention to faith, to seek God, and to take the spiritual quest seriously. So we're intentional about our faith. We're centered on Jesus. There are many ways to respond to God's call in our lives, although some people in this church still like to pretend that's not the case. We accept and affirm the faithfulness of people in other spiritual traditions who are also intentional about their desire to say yes to God, however they understand that sacred reality. And we especially acknowledge as Christians the faithfulness of Jews and Muslims with whom we share so much, yet differ so profoundly over a few points. Important points, but really only a few. For us, the journey of faith, the quest for spiritual wisdom, is all about Jesus. For us, Jesus is the way that leads to God, and for us, Jesus is God among us in human form, Emmanuel, as we will be singing in just a few weeks' time. Then there's compassion. As we seek to follow Jesus, the hallmark will be compassion, not doctrinal purity. It matters little whether we are right or wrong if we fail to be compassionate. And one classic text which captures this truth so well is found in 1 Corinthians, the great hymn to love, and we've all heard it at hundreds of weddings over the years. One sentence will remind you. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I'm nothing. What matters most, Paul says, is love. And that will be as true in the future as it is now and ever has been in the past. If we fail to be people of compassion, then we have nothing to offer the world. We're also people who hunger and thirst for justice, as Jesus says in the Beatitudes, or as the great covenant code we call Deuteronomy expresses it, justice and only justice you shall pursue, so that you may live and occupy the land that the Lord your God is giving to you. Justice and only justice. The church has a prophetic role in society, whether it is welcomed or rejected. It is the work of God to defend the weak and to speak for those without power. Those with power hate us doing that, mostly because in their heart of hearts they know we are right and that they're on the wrong side of history. And hope. We are essentially people of hope because we believe we know what the future of history looks like. We are not selling fire insurance for the next life, but we are affirming that in the end, at the end of all things, as at the beginning, it is all about love. The love that brought our universe into existence will ensure, in the end, that what is right does prevail, that life defeats death, that the mighty are cast down from their seats, that the hungry are fed, and the rich are indeed sent away empty. And no, that doesn't come from the policy platform of the Australian Labor Party. It's from the Magnificat. It's from the Song of Mary. It is highly revolutionary. No wonder the emperor tried to get rid of the Jesus people. God turns everything upside down, and that is why we are people of hope, even when it seems everything is so dark. That is what we have learned from those who went before us. This is the truth we seek to live in our own lives, and this is the legacy we leave for those who will come after us. Amen.